In the heart of a green valley, nestled between rolling hills, lies a place where time seems to slow down, and the worries of the world feel far away. Here lay the small town of Meadow Creek, a hidden gem where every house has a story, and every path leads to a familiar face. Life here moved gently, marked by the sun's path and friendly greetings exchanged on quiet streets. Each morning, the town awoke to the soft glow of sunrise, and each evening, it settled into a peaceful hush. Tom, a quiet, curious boy, found endless joy in exploring the woods that bordered the town, discovering hidden trails and listening to the songs of birds. He loved helping his mother in the garden, planting seeds and watching them grow, learning patience and care with every sprout. His father's bakery filled their home with the scent of fresh bread each morning, the warmth of the oven drawing neighbors in for a chat and a loaf. Meadow Creek was a close-knit community. Everyone knew each other, and kindness was a daily ritual. Neighbors looked out for one another, sharing stories and laughter at every opportunity. Tom's days were simple. School in the mornings, where teachers greeted every child by name. Bike rides down Main Street in the afternoons, the wind in his hair and the sound of laughter echoing behind him. And laughter with friends by the old fountain, where stories and secrets were shared beneath the shade of ancient trees. The seasons painted the valley in ever-changing colors. Spring's blossoms, summer's green, autumn's gold, and winter's gentle snow. But the peace of Meadow Creek never seemed to change. Tom felt safe, believing his world would always remain calm and familiar, sheltered by the love of his family and the warmth of his community. He cherished the routines, the faces, and the gentle rhythm of his hometown, never taking for granted the simple joys that filled his days. For Tom, Meadow Creek was more than a place. It was home, a sanctuary of peace, where every sunset promised another day just as gentle as the last. He never imagined anything could disturb its quiet harmony, or that the world outside could ever reach their peaceful valley. One late autumn afternoon, the sky above Meadow Creek turned an ominous grey. The birds fell silent, and a strange stillness settled over the valley. Tom, playing in his backyard, felt a chill as the wind picked up, carrying a damp, unfamiliar scent. The clouds thickened, swallowing the sunlight, and the wind howled louder. Heavy rain began to fall, quickly turning into a relentless downpour. Tom pressed his face to the window, heart pounding. He'd never seen a storm like this. Lightning flashed, thunder shook the house, and fear gripped Tom. He ran to his mother as the storm raged, feeling small and helpless. The world outside was no longer safe or predictable. Meadow Creek's peace was shattered by the fury of the storm. The storm knocked out the power, leaving Tom's family huddled by candlelight. Tom saw worry etched on his parents' faces, especially his father's. A crash of thunder made Tom jump, but his mother's calm words steadied him. Yet, Tom's thoughts turned to neighbors. Mrs. Gable alone, the Hendersons near the river. His father decided to check on Mrs. Gable, her old house vulnerable to the storm. Tom felt a surge of courage and asked to go along. His parents hesitated, but saw determination in his eyes. With a nod, his father agreed. Tom pulled on his raincoat and boots, fear mixing with pride. He was scared, but ready to help. No longer content to hide, Tom chose to face the storm. He wanted to be brave, just like his dad. Together, they stepped into the night. Tom and his father braved the storm, wind and rain battering them as they made their way to Mrs. Gable's cottage. The world around them was transformed by the tempest. Familiar streets now unrecognizable. Every step forward a battle against the elements. Lightning flashed overhead, illuminating their path for brief moments before plunging them back into darkness. The familiar path was now a maze of fallen branches and swirling darkness. Each gust of wind brought new obstacles, and the ground beneath their feet was slick with mud and rainwater. Tom gripped his father's hand tightly, the flashlight beam trembling as they navigated debris. The cold rain stung his face, but he refused to let go, drawing strength from his father's steady presence. The gentle creek was now a raging torrent, the bridge nearly submerged. Water roared beneath them, threatening to sweep away anything in its path, and Tom's heart pounded as they crossed carefully. Forced to take the high path through the woods, every step was a challenge. The climb was steep and slippery, their boots sinking into the sodden earth, but turning back was not an option. The wind whipped through the trees, shadows dancing in the light. Branches creaked and leaves flew past, making the forest feel alive and wild. Tom focused on moving forward, thinking of Mrs. Gable and the people who needed help. He remembered her kind smile and the warmth of her home, and that memory pushed him onward. Fear was there, but so was determination. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also a spark of courage he hadn't known before. He was no longer just following, he was helping. Tom found himself guiding his father, pointing out safer steps and holding the light steady. The storm tested their resolve, but Tom pressed on. Each challenge made him stronger, and he realized that courage could grow even in the darkest moments. Each step was an act of courage. The mud pulled at their boots, but Tom kept moving, determined not to let fear win. He would not let the storm defeat him. With every breath, Tom felt more certain that together they could face anything the tempest threw their way. Through the relentless downpour, Tom and his father spotted the faint, welcoming glow of Mrs. Gable's cottage in the distance. The warm light shone like a promise, a small beacon of hope in the otherwise pitch-black, storm-battered night. As they drew closer, they saw a large fallen branch blocking her door, with water steadily rising around the house, threatening to seep inside. The storm's fury had left the cottage vulnerable, and time was running out. Over the roar of the wind and rain, Mrs. Gable's desperate calls for help reached them, her voice trembling but determined, echoing through the stormy darkness. Without hesitation, Tom and his father pushed against the heavy, rain-soaked branch. Working together, straining against the weight, they finally managed to free the door, their teamwork fueled by urgency and care. Mrs. Gable, shaken but safe, greeted them with tears of gratitude in her eyes. Relief washed over her face as she realized help had arrived just in time. But the danger wasn't over. The water was still rising, swirling around their ankles. They knew they needed to get her to safety before the floodwaters trapped them inside. Tom quickly gathered her most precious belongings, a cherished photo album, a warm blanket, and her frightened cat, Patches, making sure nothing important was left behind. He comforted both Mrs. Gable and the trembling cat, gently guiding them away from the flooded cottage, his small hands steady and reassuring despite the chaos. On their way back through the storm, they saw the Henderson family frantically moving sacks of flour and food supplies to higher shelves, trying to save what they could from the rising water. Tom's father stopped to help, lifting heavy bags, while Tom comforted Lily Henderson, wrapping her in the blanket and letting her hold Patches to calm her fears. In that moment, Tom realized that helping others wasn't just about strength or bravery. It was about kindness, patience, and staying calm when others needed it most. Amid the chaos and uncertainty, Tom found himself stepping up, becoming a beacon of hope for those around him. His actions, whether big or small, made a real difference, inspiring others to help and reminding everyone that courage can come from the most unexpected places. Tom was no longer just a boy caught in a storm. He was a rescuer, a helper, and a friend to those in need. That night, as the storm raged on, Tom discovered the hero within himself, shining brightly even in the darkest of times. Through the long night, Tom worked alongside his father and neighbors. Fear lingered, but purpose grew stronger with every act of help. He saw the relief on Mrs. Gable's face, the smile he brought to Lily. Tom learned courage wasn't the absence of fear, but acting despite it. He watched his father lead by example, encouraging others. Helping others taught Tom empathy and the power of kindness. The storm united the community, each person supporting the next. As dawn broke and the storm faded, Tom felt changed. The boy who once hid from thunder now stood tall. He discovered strength he never knew he had. The greatest storms, he realized, are often inside us, and so is the courage to face them. The sun rose over a battered but unbroken meadow creek. The town was messy, but its people emerged with determination. Neighbors checked on each other, shared food, and began to clean up. Tom walked the streets, greeted with gratitude and pride. He felt a new sense of belonging. He was now a valued member of his community. Days of hard work followed, everyone pitching in to restore their town. Tom found joy in helping, his confidence growing with each task. Meadow Creek slowly healed, its spirit stronger than before. Tom looked at the old oak tree in his yard, damaged, but still standing. He felt a kinship with it. He, too, had weathered the storm and emerged stronger. Even the quietest person, Tom learned, can be a hero when the moment calls.